Hey, Justin Chamness here, and I am back with another episode of the Lease Option live stream where I want to talk to you today, especially about a couple opportunities that I have for you, but also about the real opportunity that is in store for you this year, especially more now than any other year recently, to acquire your own home using no banks. That's right, without banks, without credit, without a lot of cash. Okay. Uh oh. Uh oh. Can't be broken by a house. But you can buy a house without banks and without credit and very little cash, meaning, you got to have some kind of income to be able to support a house payment to buy a house. And I'm going to talk to you about doing that very thing today. And in fact, I'm offering you a free live class online where I talk about how me and my wife did this very thing. Okay. And it comes with a nice ebook workbook that has all of the tips and tricks, the contract. It has the proposal letter to the homeowner. It has the script for the homeowner. It has how you market for the homeowner. It's the whole 9 yards. This is the whole shooting match when it comes to how to get your own property to move into. Okay. Now we talk about doing here on this channel, we talk about doing it for other people. And that is true. This is in here too a little bit. That's if you want to move out. So if you get your own place and you want to move out, you're going to want to flip that to somebody else. Well, that's covered in this book as well. And there's some real golden nuggets for you when it comes to doing that. But on this channel, we talk a lot about doing that for a living full time. And it's fun. Maybe you've never thought of it in that way before. But what if you had a house of your own that you did lease purchase? You moved into it. It was your dream home or your next dream home. Okay, let's be realistic. Maybe not your dream home, but your next dream home. Okay, the next one up. The next it was a good move. You ever moved and most of the time when I've moved, I've been like, wow, this new condo, this new townhome, this new apartment, wherever it was I was moving, it feels fresh and good and new and nice until I lived there just like a couple of weeks or something. Then I realized all the stuff wrong with it. And then I didn't like it no more. Well, you know what? It was your dream home for, a week or two. And then it wasn't anymore. And that's life sometimes. So if you do move into one and you decide to move out, you can flip that to a new tenant buyer and make money. So why not just do that all the time and make money? Why not just do that all the time? See, what I'm saying is I was able to find, because I didn't have any credit. My credit sucked. I tell that story in this book too. My credit really sucked, and I needed to be able to buy a house, and it was really it's intimidating to go fill out the applications. back back when this happened, you could go actually to a mortgage. You probably still can go. I think a lot of people do it online now. I went to the actual mortgage lender's office and was like, "Hey, I want to get a loan." And he was like, "Okay, fill out this application, undress in front of me, financially speaking, wink, wink, that kind of thing." Oh, really? Yes. Also, we're going to need a couple years of tax returns. You got pay stubs too. We need that. We need it all, man. We need it all. We need to look up every hole, see everything. All right. Yeah. Uncomfortable. And you know what? I didn't pass the test. I did not pass the test. And so I had to figure out a way that I could get, because I had a baby. Okay? I had a baby. And maybe you guys can relate. I don't have a baby now. My kids are all actually they're all grown and just now out of the house. And that's kind of cool. Or kind of, pretty well out of the house. And so but back then I needed a house. Maybe you can relate. Now, anyway, this book is exactly how my wife and I did that very thing. I lay it out for you step by step. So you get to see exactly how you can do it too. But then not only that, it's a good place to start if you're looking to do this for other people. You know, once you've done it for yourself and you really enjoy it, hey Andre, good to see you.
What's going on, buddy?
Hey man, nothing much. Good to see you, man. I missed you. I didn't do this last week because I was tired.
I know you said you're gonna take a day off.
Yeah,
You needed
I
one,
did.
huh?
I had I was attended a 3 day challenge last week.
Okay,
And
okay.
how the 3 day challenge thing, it's kind of a thing now. People do that a lot.
Yeah.
I joined in on one, and I was challenged for 3 whole days, and then I felt like I needed to take the rest of the week off.
So what was the challenge? What was the challenge?
Oh well, it was a real estate challenge. It was getting leads off of Craigslist. And
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
how to
okay.
market and get leads for your business off Craigslist and other places at no cost.
Nice,
So
nice,
yeah, it
nice.
was a great 3 day challenge, but you know how that goes. I just needed to lay down for a while after that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's kind of intense.
Yeah.
But I guess that's the whole purpose, right?
Yeah,
Is for it to be intense, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
the purpose was not to work hard for 3 days and then lay down for the rest of the 4 days of the week.
Right. Yeah. I guess that. Yeah. Maybe not that, but yeah, to keep
Uh,
the intensity up for sure. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. But anyway, I missed you. So
Man, thank you. Same
it's
here. Same here, brother. Same here.
makes me feel good to see you. Yeah. So, but I was just talking about, and you're the perfect guy to visit with about this, because I was talking
Okay.
about me and my wife, the first house I bought ever, um, here at where I live now. I lived in Kentucky before. This is where I'm from. Way back in a former life, I bought a house with a mortgage. Life happened. My credit took a, how people say,
Yeah.
my credit had a ding or two.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
My credit didn't have a ding or two. My it was worse than that.
Had a wreck, huh?
Yeah, it was all the way caved in.
Need some body work. Look, needed some body work.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
So I needed to buy another house because I'd moved, and my credit was now bad, and I couldn't buy a house. Not through traditional, lending methods, like going down. I couldn't get a mortgage. They wouldn't give me
Right.
one. So I was, I needed to figure out some way of getting a property that I could move into, call my own. And so that's kind of partly what inspired me to do lease purchasing on real estate properties and getting into that. And
You know,
I'm
they
gonna do.
say necessity is the mother of invention.
Oh yeah,
Isn't that how it
for
works? You know?
sure, absolutely. And so I am thankful for the strategy of lease purchase. I've been thinking about just driving around maybe one day live or something and just showing houses that I've done lease purchase here in this area
Yeah.
and letting people know some of the ones that I actually moved into.
Yeah. 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 It would be inspiring to guys. I built a bunch of houses. I never really did any lease purchases, but
Hmm.
it was amazing to me before I started lending money. Hey, hey, how's it going, brother? Good to see you. I'm out on the street today, so just excuse me. Hey, I'm
That's all
good.
right,
I'm good.
man.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
It's
You know,
because you're famous, man.
I'm a local celebrity, so
You
you
are,
know.
dude. Not just local anymore.
Right, right, right. So I built a bunch of houses, but what happens is that people ask me about the houses, and I'll just start pointing out some of the neighborhoods that I built in, some of the houses I built, and they're like,
Wow.
"Wow,
Yeah.
we had no." But isn't that really kind of how it goes, though, Justin? That you you have these different phases of life, where you kind of go through because when I first started, I always thought I was going to be a real estate developer, builder,
Oh
and
yeah.
then I started managing money, and now I'm lending money. But they all seem like different lives almost. You know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's why. Yeah, I referred to it earlier as a former life. I've had a few of those.
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't mean in some like metaphysical or whatever the
No,
word
no,
would be, but like
yeah,
in this life, I've lived several
yeah,
lives. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, I had a
yeah,
whole different life path. I'd wake
yeah,
up and do a totally different thing. I used to spend more time at Home Depot than anything else. And I went to Home
wow,
Depot to get a key made. And I was like, man, it felt strange
yeah,
because I used to be at Home Depot every day.
right. You used to work,
Lumber
yeah, you
packages,
live there,
drywall orders. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The
yeah.
whole thing.
Wow, I used to work at Ace Hardware. That's
Oh,
funny.
wow.
Yeah, so yeah, that was my first gig was Ace Hardware, and I hated it, man.
Right.
Yeah, it was
But,
horrible.
but you know a number 18 screw from a number 14, right?
Yeah, and nails. I was. It's funny. I was the nail and screw guy, and that was
Yeah,
those are my aisles. I had to keep them all clean and stocked, and
right.
help the customers when they wandered into that, into my web there. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
uh, yeah, but then I spent too much time in the plumbing department trying to put together water bongs.
Leave it to you, man. That's why I
Yeah.
love you, man. That's why I
So,
love you,
well, and
man.
that might be
A whole
why.
nother
Yeah,
look, a whole nother life.
yeah.
Right, right, right,
Well, see,
right.
that's when the next life began. And that's
Oh,
probably what put to end the former life.
I get it. I get it. I get it. Hey, these are
So
life lessons. These are life lessons.
yeah, I didn't work at Ace that long, really. I didn't work
Really.
at Ace Hardware that long. They caught me building bongs in the water,
Right.
and in the plumbing department.
Oh, I love it, man. I
That's
love it. That's great.
crazy. Well, then my credit was bad. Then I had to figure out how to buy a house. Now, here's what's cool is Andre's a
I'm gonna
lender.
try to switch this camera. I think if I
Yeah,
switch
go
it
ahead,
this way,
man.
it looks better. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
that looks
great. I
good.
think that looks better. Yeah.
Andre's a lender. So, what? Tell us real quick, man, just so we know. I mean, I know you work with investors, but
Yeah,
if you were going to advise a guy going to buy a house retail, like he's just going to move in, like I need a mortgage for me and my family, what is it going to take today? Can you kind of give us a kind of a basic roundabout, shotgun, what is it? What is it? What am I going to have? Who am I going to have to be?
right.
Because I'm going to have to, if I go apply, they're going to undress me financially. And I mean, they're going to look at everything.
That's true.
And
Now,
that's uncomfortable.
before I jump in on that, let me state that I am a commercial lender, and I
Yeah,
do not
I
lend to
know.
owner occupants. So,
I know.
you and I are just having a conversation. So
I know.
I'm not an NMLS guy. I'm not, able to give you a Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac mortgage.
Uh,
I lend to real estate investors. But
I realize
since
that.
you and I are talking,
Yep.
what you're going to have to do is if you want to get the government agency loan, you're going to have some tax returns. You have to have some verifiable income, and you're going to have some reserves in
Mm,
order to do it. So, normally the tax returns, I think they're looking for 1 year tax returns, and then your verifiable income is coming off of a W-9 or something like that. And if
yeah.
you're self-employed, I think you've got to use a combination of bank statements plus your business tax returns in order to pull that off. But yeah, you're right. They are going to, really get into it with you.
Yeah. I don't like that. That's uncomfortable for me.
It is. Now you can do non-QM loans.
Mm.
So they've got non-QM loans available too, They've got loans where you can actually let me see if I can switch this around over here. This might look better,
You look good,
You can
man.
okay. I didn't know which way. I'm trying. Yeah, this whole video thing is different for me. So I'm trying to figure out how to,
You
get the
look
camera
nice.
angles right.
Yeah.
So but yeah, if you're doing that if you're trying to get a non-QM loan, you just have to put down more money. And I don't think
Mm.
you have to have the same credit score. I think they will go with credit scores as low as 600, I think it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think you can have a credit score as low as
Yeah.
600,
Yeah.
but it's only like a
Yeah.
60% LTV loan at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. So the property may not qualify, the one you
Yeah,
want. Yeah.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the first property. That's interesting. Thank you for sharing that. especially, realizing that you are a commercial lender, you work with professionals, not retail buyers, but nevertheless insights to the
You're right.
industry. Appreciate that, man. The first house I bought, like I said, when I had good credit, before life changed for before life changed for me, when I had good credit, I bought a cute little house, a little starter house. It was a little
Mhm.
3 bedroom, 1.5 bath, had a carport, but it was like a built-in carport. It was a brick house. It was a cute little house on Strawberry Lane, and I got a loan for it. And
Man, I love that street name, Strawberry Lane, man. That
yeah,
just
man,
sounds
it was cute. Everything.
man.
It was a perfect little, it was a perfect little place to start getting divorced.
Right.
It was great. You know, it was immaculate for that. Um, yeah.
That's
So
a gem right there, buddy. That's a
yeah,
gem right there.
yes. I was at, like, I think my interest rate was eight
Mhm.
something. You
Okay,
know,
that's not bad. That's
I
not.
mean, this was
This
this
was
was a
probably
while
what?
back,
Yeah, this is probably late '90s.
early 2000s, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That
But
sounds about right for that.
but
And you know what's so funny about that?
yeah.
I get guys calling me all day long because I'm lending money, on investment properties at like 7.5, 7.75 today, right? 7% with a buy down. And I get
Mm,
guys who are complaining about that.
wow.
And I'm saying to myself, you're just too young to understand that,
Mm,
money's not cheap. You've lived through historic
yeah.
lows.
It never has been. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Money's never been cheap. You've been spoiled thinking that money's 2% and 3%. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Most people who get a mortgage on their house, like you said, are going to pay 9% of it historically, if you can
Oh
get a
yeah.
mortgage. If you can get a mortgage,
If you
yeah,
can get one. Yeah.
yeah,
Because the payment's pretty steep, and not, I mean, compared to the 2 or 3% guys.
right.
But then not only that, when you're a first time home buyer like I was on Strawberry Lane, they gave me the loan, but they acted like they didn't trust me still, and made me have private mortgage insurance, or is
That's
that what it's
exactly
called?
right.
PMI.
That's exact PMI. That's
Yeah,
exactly right.
yeah,
And you know what that comes in at?
and that was
If
like
you don't
another
have
$100 a
20%,
month or something.
yeah, if you don't have 20% down, what they're doing is that they are insuring that mortgage
Yeah,
for that difference. Now, if you put down 20%, you can actually, get rid of the PMI. But yeah, you're right. They don't
yeah,
trust you. And
right,
they're hedging their bets.
yeah. That made me feel bad, you know.
It's good to be the bank, though. It's good to be
Yeah.
the bank.
Well, it sounds like it,
Yeah.
I always wanted to be, but never was. But
I love
I'm
your sandwich method. I mean,
dude, I'm telling
it
you.
gives you a taste of being the bank. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
it does. Yeah,
Because you get to make that premium,
yeah.
that spread, as they
Right.
say.
Well,
Yeah,
in the sense that you get to control the property, but you don't have to be the owner.
that's exactly right. That's exactly
Yeah,
right.
that's nice. That's real
Same thing the bank
nice.
does. Same thing the bank does.
Yeah. I moved into the very first lease option that I did, I moved into. It was
Mm.
a 5 bedroom, 2.5 bath. So you can see I
Wow.
moved. So when I was like, hey, my credit's shot and everything, and I'm trying to do this lease option business. One, because I want to make money, but two, because I need a house. And the first one that came by was a 5 bedroom, 2.5 bath, and I could afford the payment. I
Right.
was like, bingo, I am on.
This is me. I'm in here.
So it
I'm
was a
back, baby. I'm back.
right. It was a great house to finish getting divorced. And
Right.
so, I was I don't mean to be negative, but it is
I love it,
that's
man. I
life,
love it.
isn't it? I
It
mean, that's
is. It
how
is. It
life
is.
happens to people.
It is. That's exactly right. My first
So,
house. So my first house that I did, it was a renovation job, but then I bought the one around the corner, and that's the one that I moved into, and that's where I got married, and then I got divorced after I moved out of there.
yep, yep, yep,
Yeah,
man. Whew,
I
man, I've
know.
been through it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
Same
have
here, same
too.
here. But
Yeah,
you got to live though. You got to live. You got to
you
live.
got to
That's
live.
that's yeah.
You got to get out there. I'm glad I had a mentor that told me when I was a young guy. He said, because I was scared. I was scared to do any of what we're talking about right now. Scared to go
Yeah.
get a mortgage. I was scared to go try a lease option. I was scared to do any of this stuff.
Yeah.
All the time I was scared. The whole time I was scared.
Right.
And he used to tell me, well, here's the thing. You can't let fear keep you back. He said, anybody that's doing anything out there is just out there doing it. They don't know everything they're doing. And if anybody you ever see is getting sued or getting in trouble or having a hard time with a business, that's because they're trying something, man.
That's right. They're actually
Don't
doing something.
Yeah, don't think you're exempt of that. And I was like, well, okay, that kind of makes sense. He's like, so just get out there, because when you're out there swinging, if something were to, if you were to make a mistake and misstep or say something wrong, a lot of this stuff is just correctable. And
Right.
a
Right.
lot,
Right.
and a lot of it, you're just a young guy and you're just trying to work things out. And oops, oh well, big deal, ha ha. F them if they can't take a joke. That's what he said.
That's right. And I agree with that. I mean, because the only guy who's not failing is the guy who's not trying.
Say it again. Oh,
The only guy who's not failing is the guy
yeah,
who's not trying.
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah, because
right.
if you're just sitting
Yeah,
around, yeah,
yeah,
you're not going to strike out because you didn't swing.
yeah.
You're in the
Well, that's so
dugout.
true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're in the
Yes.
stands.
Yes.
But if you're up at the plate and if you're taking a swing, if you're not just waiting for the ball to hit you so you can take first base,
Mm.
you know,
Walk. Yeah.
yeah,
Walk.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You
Right.
got you got to take a swing.
Mm. Man, that's interesting. What a great metaphor. Or is that a simile? I don't know, but
I don't know, but we'll look it up later. But yeah, you got you got to get in the arena, as they say.
yeah.
You got to really give it a shot. And I think that the ideas and the strategies that you share with people on a weekly basis, I think it gives them a pathway to take a shot. Because a lot of guys think, oh, I got to have $1 million, or I got to put together my first $100,000 in order to do a deal. I got to go out here and raise $20,000 for a down payment. I need $5,000 to tie up this property,
Right.
whatever it
Right.
is.
Yeah.
You give them strategies where they don't have to do that.
That's
And
right.
it tells them, hey, you can go out here and you can find somebody who wants to get rid of their property and, talk
Right.
to them for a couple of days and
Right.
tie it up and spend a
Yeah.
couple of $100 and then list it, with somebody else who really wants to
Mm.
be in that property.
That's great, man. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, it's taking a shot. You'd be better off out there if you don't need $1 million, like you said. But if you acted like you had $1 million and then
Yeah.
you called and you made some offers and your offer was lease purchase or your offer was something you could do
Mm-hmm.
in your current state, but you
Mm-hmm.
acted like you had $1 million, you might actually get something done.
You might actually get a deal done. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
You know what?
Because
Here's
you
an
got a
interest.
solution. You got a solution for a person.
Hmm. And that's an interesting thought, because when I said I'm that first lease option that I ever did, I moved into it. I eventually sold that to another person, but that person was a real blessing to work with too. But that deal there, I moved into it. I was scared, was very nervous about how all of this stuff works. But I had to meet the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was going to move into it, right? So, I mean, I
Right.
was presently present. This was not like a
Yeah.
virtual deal, like I was doing a deal in another state or something. This was
Right.
like, this is a guy. I walked up his driveway and knocked on the door and was like, "Hi, here I am to help make an offer. I want to make an offer on your property and help you get relief of this payment problem that you say
Right.
you have." And you know what? You can't drive up in a car that's smoking out of both ends and or get you
So wait a
got
minute. So your exhaust was smoking, and you had an oil leak, and so
yeah.
it was smoking on the front side, right?
Well, mine wasn't, but see what I'm saying is like there's some folks that would pull up like that.
Oh, and say, "Hey, I want to buy your house." Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, but let's take that, Justin. Let's say the guy has a car that's smoking.
yeah. Here I got
You still
advice for
got
that guy.
you still got to make a deal work, right?
Right.
you can't be up there and say, "Oh, my car's smoking, so I can't make a deal work."
I agree
I'll tell
100.
you the first pitch that I had. The first pitch I had was my girlfriend, who later became my wife. I would drive, or I would literally make this college graduate drive around with me on the weekends, and
Yeah.
I go and pull in people's driveways, that houses that look, beat up,
Right.
hoping that somebody would answer the door.
Wow.
And I knock on the door and I point back at the car and I say, "Yeah, me and my wife are out." Now, she was just my girlfriend at the time, but yeah, me and my wife are out, and we're
Hmm.
starting a family, and I really need a house, for us to move into.
Yeah.
I saw that, that you're not, cutting the grass. I was wondering if you're getting ready to move or something like that, and if I might,
Yeah.
have a shot at buying your house, and doing some tender love and
Wow.
care to it.
Yeah.
I,
Great.
I mean, I
Yeah.
knocked on a ton of houses
Yeah.
like that, and
Yeah.
she rode around with me, for many a weekends, and that's
Yeah.
how I found my first couple of deals. So, I mean, if
Man.
you got a smoking car, you
Dude.
know,
Yeah.
I
Great.
mean, let's just kind of play role play. If
Yeah.
your engine is smoking and your car's back, that doesn't mean you can't do a deal.
Right.
You
Right.
pull up in the driveway and you say, "Hey, I'm out here, and my name is Joe, and I've been driving around looking at
Yeah.
houses. My
Yeah.
car's over here; it's
Yeah.
overheating, but I've saved up a couple of dollars. I'm not
Yeah.
spending the money on my car,
Yeah.
but I'm ready to
Yeah.
buy your house because if you'll give me a shot at it and at a
Yeah.
decent price."
It's good advice. Good advice. I 100% agree. I'll add to it though too. I borrowed my brother's car, like kind of like you were talking.
Yeah,
Like my brother had a black Dodge Durango, and I was like, "Hey, I look pretty fly riding around in that.
that's right.
I'll drive
That's the
that
other
over."
option. That's right.
Yeah. Hey, you mind if I borrow your car for an hour? I'll be back. I'll put some gas in it for you while I'm gone. That kind of thing. Another thing I did later in life when I didn't have my brother's car,
Yeah.
and I had to pull up on a house, and my car looked bad, bad. I lied to him. I told him, I was like, "Hey, listen, that's my wholesale car. When I go around looking at junky houses, I drive a junk car because you wouldn't believe the kind of nails and screws I pick up and all
Right,
that.
right.
I do
I love
not
it.
want. I am not driving my Benz over here.
I love that. I love it, man. I love
All
it.
right,
We
is
got to
that all
live
right?
life.
Is that all right
We
to
got to
flip a
live
little bit?
life.
Like
We
I'm
got to
faking
live
it till
life.
I make it, right?
That's right. That's right. That's right. We got to live life.
Got to.
You know what's so interesting about that though? We had said earlier that it seems like we have different lives as we go through.
Yeah.
The people that we approach in business are doing the exact same thing. Just what your mentor was saying. So you
Mhm.
might have a guy who moved into that house, and he and his wife were doing well at the time, but now all of a sudden it's, and so you're catching him, giving him a solution,
Yeah.
for the next phase of life he's getting ready to move into. You know what I mean? And so, you got to
Absolutely.
keep that in mind when you're out here, pitching deals and trying to find opportunities for yourself. Is that, hey, the person that you're talking to is getting ready for another phase of life too, and you might just be the solution that they're looking
Yeah.
for.
Yeah. You never know. You know.
You never know.
I consider myself a person of faith, and I pray regularly.
Yeah.
God send me to the people that are ready for me that I can help today.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times timing is everything. You
Oh, it
know,
is. It's
you
yeah.
know, I'm like, hey, if I can get a little supernatural help on this timing thing,
That's right.
uh,
That's
you know,
exactly right. That's
ain't nothing
exactly
wrong with
right.
that. Nothing
No,
wrong.
no, not at all. And it's probably about and timing works out so well, especially when you've got more at bats.
Oh
So it's just
yes.
what you were saying, with
Wow.
your finding leads on Craigslist.
Yeah.
That's more swings. That's more at bats. You're actually going to do better if you spend
Absolutely.
time creating opportunities for yourself where you can take the swing.
Wonderfully said. Wonderfully said. I couldn't have said it better. Andre, how do people get a hold of you, man?
So, I'm here on LinkedIn all the time. A Shepherd, ASH
Yeah.
EPARD on LinkedIn. And so, I know you always, when you always post it, you got to put the at symbol before because you always say, hey, thanks to A Shepherd for going in. You got it when you post
Okay.
it, you got to put the at A Shepherd
I thought I
on there.
was, but yeah, I'll
Yeah,
be
and that
extra
that way
careful
they'll be
too.
able to that way
Yeah.
they'll be able to click on it. But yeah,
Okay.
just find me there and
Yeah.
if they got a deal or if they just like anything that you and I talk about, I really, enjoy our Fridays,
I
man.
do
And
too, bro.
yeah,
Thank you
yeah,
so much
it
for
really
being
works
here with
out.
me today. I mean, I really, I'm growing a deep fondness for you, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. But
Uh,
we're brothers from another mother. They gave us the same name. They just
I
gave it to
know.
me as a first name and you as a
I
middle
know.
name.
I love it, dude. I love it. It's really true. It's so true. It's Andre. If you called me Andre, I would answer to that.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
I really would. So that's really cool. I've never had a friend with the same name like that before.
Right, right, right,
That's
right, right.
cool. I like you, man. I mean it, and I thank you for being here and for all the great nuggets you dropped too while you're here.
Thank you, Justin.
Appreciate it very much.
You do a great job. Oh, and I've gone back and watched your old YouTube stuff and all that good stuff,
Wow.
man. You've been consistent over the years. And man, you
Thank
do a
you.
great job. And I think for the guy who's really trying to get started, you've come up with a strategy for him, man.
Thank you,
I'm
dude.
very happy that you continue to share that with me.
Thank you. Who you voting for the Super Bowl?
So, I really wanted to see what was going to happen with the Ravens. I thought that was going to,
Yeah.
be my guy. But, my heart is telling me that Kansas is going to pull it out again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I think you're
that's
right,
what my
man.
heart is. That's what my heart is telling me.
I think that's where the money is, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't think I don't think you can make money betting on Kansas this year.
I don't think you can either.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah.
that's because
Yeah,
everybody's the odds are,
yeah. Yeah. I don't think you can make money betting
But
on
see, that's
Kansas this
when you
year.
want to, if you got it to lose, and you want to just have fun with it. See,
Yeah.
that's how you get in trouble if you
That's right.
if you
I'm just
don't.
going to be the contrarian. I'm going to drop 1,000.
Yeah, yeah, right. Just to prove everybody wrong.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. So I can walk away with 10,000 on the backside.
yeah.
I don't know what the
Ooh,
line is, but because I don't.
that'd
But I
feel
bet you,
smooth.
man, in Vegas. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness! Can you imagine all the
Oh
gambling that's
yeah.
going to be happening there this
Wow.
weekend?
Jeez. Yeah. Yeah. Crazy. I don't want to be anywhere around there.
No, no, no. I'll leave that one out there. Look, I'll watch it on TV.
Yeah. Is that what you're doing? You just hanging out? You got friends, family? What are you doing? Just hanging out by yourself, watching it on,
I just hanging
chill?
out by my. Yeah, I'll probably go over to a friend's house and watch it, and sit
Okay.
around and try to get in before it gets too late. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And
Yeah.
get ready to get started. I used to go to this place. I'm in Atlanta. They have this place. Well, they used to have a place here called the Tavern, and I
Yeah.
used to go up there and watch the game every year, but they closed it down. And so I'll just go over to a friend's house now.
Why'd they close it down? People getting shot. Oh no, that's Kansas City. I'm sorry.
City.
What'd you say? Atlanta. Okay.
Atlanta,
Well,
Atlanta.
that might be
Yeah,
true over
nah,
there.
it might be. It might be. No, I think the space. So Fendi took the space and took the restaurant out and put some clothes in. So it's a high end,
Yeah.
expensive neighborhood over there. And so Fendi thought they could sell
Oh,
more purses and shirts.
yeah.
And so they said you guys have enough time selling chips and beer.
Hey man, did you hear that? Did you hear that story that those three people got froze to death over here in
Man,
Kansas
I
City?
still can't. So what was it?
What in the
Was it a
world?
bet? Was it a
I,
bet? Who can stay out here the longest?
I don't know. I can't wait till the Lifetime movie or whatever comes out
Man,
about
I
it.
can't either because I can't figure out for the world of me how you sit out there and freeze to death.
I don't know either. It's the
It
weirdest
had
thing
to be a
ever.
bet. It had either it was a bet or somebody got totally drunk and just said, "Let's go outside and cool off," or they were, something else and they sat outside and passed out. That's the only
Oh,
thing I could think of. Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's weird, huh?
Oh, it was very weird when I saw it. I was like, man, this is
Only in
I
Kansas
would,
City.
I'm sitting out here talking to you, and it's a nice day out here. It feels really
Yeah.
good. But if it got cold, I'd go inside.
I would too, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be like, oh well, Justin, I
I'm
gotta
not
go inside. Hold on a second. Yeah.
I'm not a part of Mensa or anything, but when it's cold out,
I
my
go inside.
reptilian brain says, "Hey,
Yeah,
that's warm in there. You better go in there."
go inside. I couldn't figure it out, man. I'm waiting for the story to come out on that because that just doesn't.
Dude,
And
I
then
need
the real other thing is the guy was in there on the couch sleep. That's
for
the other
like two
part that
whole
got.
days. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Something was going on. Those guys got hold of something, man. Some magic mushrooms or something, man. It
Oh
was.
man, I don't even know. Ooh-wee.
I don't know, but I'd like to figure that out because something happened there. I'm not sure.
Well, you have a blessed weekend, Andre. Thanks for being here,
So,
man.
oh, you
And
didn't answer who you're rooting for. Who's your
oh,
team?
I'm from Kansas City, so I gotta kind of root for the Chiefs,
Home
but
team. I got you.
but I'm not really married to sports in any way. Like I don't really follow it very very closely, so I'm just a fan because I'm just here. Like I
Right,
kind of need to be, because everybody, literally everyone around me is a fan.
right. I mean, it's easy to be a fan when you're winning, right?
Yeah. Oh, isn't that true? And they're talking about redoing stadiums and move, like and all this money and stuff. And I'm like, hey, that sounds great right now. And y'all are going to put it on the taxpayers over here, and we're going to
Right.
pay for it every time we buy something or whatever. We're going to be chipping in for the stadium. Then they're going to make the price of the tickets and the parking and everything so expensive that most of the folks that live around here couldn't afford it.
That's right.
And then after that, the team's probably going to start losing, and then you're going to have
That's
to drop
exactly
ticket
what
price.
happened.
It's just whoa, what a racket this is, right? I
Man,
mean,
before we go and before we sign off, it brought to mind something that I had just, I listened to a lot of Audible books, right? So, what's the name of the family that owns the Kansas City team?
oh man, I don't remember. I don't
Well,
know. But
anyway, when you get a chance to look it up, because the guy who first bought the Kansas City team and brought it to Kansas, he cornered the silver market.
wow,
Yeah. And
wow.
so, man, there was this whole book about it.
Uh,
And he and his brother were, these big traders and all that good stuff. And that's how the family kind of got their money. And these
wow.
guys had cornered the silver market, had, got the U.S. government to start making coins out of silver and all of this other stuff. Man, it was an
Wow.
interesting story, man. When you get a
Wow.
chance to look them up and
I will.
look at that story, yeah,
I
that's a
will.
great story. Yeah, about that
Are they
the family.
originally are they from Kansas City here?
I don't know where they're
I
from.
don't
I
know.
can't remember, but I
Yeah.
remember that they were cornering the silver market,
Yeah.
and they were and they got a ton of money. And the
That's
guy who
great.
bought the team initially, that
Yeah.
is where he got the money from. Yeah,
That's great. Yeah. I'll look that up. I'm always interested in successful people's
yeah, me
stories,
too, me too, me
Yeah.
too.
I
Yeah,
mean,
how they
you,
did it, and where it comes from. Yeah,
I mean, I'm not going to do it the way they did it, but I'll definitely pick up some gems there.
yeah,
Like you
that's
can
exactly
learn.
right. That's exactly right.
Like I heard a preacher said it like walking behind the reapers. Like
Yes,
you know
yes,
what I mean. Like,
yes. That's exactly right.
and that's what
I
I
don't
want
want
to
to
do.
die like you, but I want to see what killed you, so I don't have to make
Right.
that mistake. Yeah, I'll
I'm
step
just
over that pothole.
right, right. I'm just walk behind here and
That's right.
watch, and pick this up, and pick that up. Avoid this, avoid. You're
That's
exactly
exactly
right,
right.
Andre. Hey man, you have a safe weekend, and we'll see you. We'll see you again next Friday, hopefully, if you got
Looking
time and
forward to it.
everything.
God
Yeah.
willing, I'll be here.
Thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you again next week. Enjoy your weekend and your Super Bowl. All right.